If you've joined Southwest Florida today only to feel as though there is nothing left to do, you're not alone. With the Revamp still being in development, players are more bored than ever and thus drifting away from the game. With that being said, I'm going to be going over 25 things you can do in Southwest Florida when you are bored. From simple activities to ideas that can completely change how you play the game. Whether you're a long-term player or just looking for something new, this video is tailor-made for you. We have an issue. You are bored of the game. There's a chance that you have done everything. There's a chance that you have made the most amount of money, but most of the cars. You've pretty much played this game to its absolute limit. That being said, an action I would absolutely take if I were you is to simply come back. If you're truly bored of something, there is no reason for you to just force yourself to be engaged in that thing. I mean, I have personal experience with doing this. I mean, back in 2023, I finally played the game after damn near a year, or like a few months, and I enjoyed the game much more. Simply take a break from the game, come back after like maybe a few months, maybe just when the game releases the update. It's all up to you, man. Now, this map is not small by any means, and if you took the time to just slow down and really analyze this map, you'll actually come across some Easter eggs that you probably have never even noticed. For example, right down the street from spawn, if you make a turn into here, then go all the way back here, you would notice this SpongeBob police boat. If you make your way to Jeff's Pizza and just go right into this kitchen, you're gonna notice Garfield actually being fried over here. If you make a right from the condos, just keep driving down and then you're gonna make a left right over here. Just keep driving down, make this left, just keep going and then make a right. You're gonna notice this kind of like Minecraft house, like a dirt hut. This map is absolutely huge and it does actually like to mess around a little bit. A cool aspect of this game is photo editing, or just simply taking photos. It's a fun thing to do because it involves being creative, but also it's just something fun to do outside of the game, you know? And it's involved with a feature called FreeCam. Unfortunately, this is only for PC devices, but simply click on Shift+C and now you're in this drone mode. Simply grab your favorite vehicle, position it however you like. You can zoom in, zoom out, you can move around, then just take the screenshot however your device provides that action. Go into your favorite photo editor of choice. I like to use Photopea. Open a new project. I like to do 1920 by 1080p. Hit create, open in place, and then just import the screenshot that you just took, just like so. You can roll it to make it look like the camera actually is rolling, and then you can add some vibrance, some exposure, just things to make it look more, you know, lively. Vibrance is in the name. It allows you to change how colorful your image is. I like to use vibrance mostly, but saturation is cool too. There's this AI I like to use that essentially cuts out the vehicle for you. So just export this image, export as an PNG so that the file is bigger. Then you could head to a website called Adobe Express. I like to use the free image background remover. So simply just upload the photo that you just exported, or boom, and you're gonna give it a second. And just like that, you just remove the background. Now just go back to the editor, hit file and open in place, and then import the image with the cutout back. It does actually resize the image, but it's no problem. Just redo it. And it is AI, so it's not perfect. So you're gonna notice some things that you probably would not want included in the cutout image. So just head to the eraser, decrease the hardness so that it's not too, you know, jagged. Make sure you rasterize this layer so that you can actually do it, and just simply erase what you don't want. And boom. And then what I like to do is add a Gaussian blur. And it's in the name. It essentially blurs out the background. But make sure you actually convert this to a smart object, because there's a method I like to use for this. So filter, Gaussian blur, decrease the radius to about like 2 or 3. Then you're gonna click on the smart filter layer, head to the brush tool, increase the size to maximum, and then decrease the hardness to just 0. It might actually decrease the size to like about 1000 maybe. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. And then you're gonna go to here and make sure this color is selected to black. Then you're gonna notice we actually draw on this smart filter layer. It's gonna essentially remove the blur, because realistically you don't want the blur to be affecting like the bottom of the car. Something like this. It looks alright. You can even darken the background if you want to make the car stand out a little bit more. Of course, from an actual photo edit, I would go way deeper than this, but just quite simply be creative. You know what I'm saying? Just simply being creative is something that you can do when you're bored of this game. I'm a review on Discord server that you can of course join in the description down below. There's a channel called Rate My Car. It's a cool channel where you can actually get feedback on your vehicles, or of course vice versa. You can get feedback on somebody else's vehicles. As you can see, this individual posted a picture of their McLaren F1 and its F8 Tributo, and somebody rated it a 10. It's a cool channel to not only, you know, see how people feel about your vehicles, but also just to interact, you know what I'm saying? You can of course also do this in public servers, you know, ask people to rate your vehicle, see how you can improve it, etc. Something else that you can do when you're bored is, once again, joining my Discord server and exploring the different card color codes that people actually do provide in my server. Now, people kind of stop actually providing the codes, but here we are right here. You know, I have this nice blue color. The hue is 202, the saturation is 63, and the lightness is 51. Let's go all the way back because people actually were going into detail back then. So here we are. Our soul is blood red on the carbon Veron. The hue is 0, the saturation is at 100%, and the lightness is at 34.7%. Looks absolutely amazing. And there is a bunch more colors to actually explore in this one. In a recent update, SWFL actually came up with this new Speedway, which is absolutely fun, man. And something that you can absolutely do is drift on the Speedway. There's something fun that you can do that is actually, you know, skill-based. Just grab yourself a rear-wheel drive vehicle, apply a drift tune from YouTube, and just go crazy. If you're a player that loves doing drag races or just long races, I have something new for you to try. It's called roll racing. It's kind of sort of like a long race and a drag race at the same exact time. Kind of sort of. It's in the name. You simply start at a roll at maybe like 50 or something, and then just simply count down or start at a light just like so, and then just floor it. Drag racing is cool and all, but with roll racing, you really get to see which car is really about that speed for it. I recommend trying it out. Let's say that you grab a favorite car of yours and you go to paint, and you notice in the factory paint there's not a specific color that you actually want, that you actually love. Like for example, the McLaren 765 LT inside this game doesn't have volcano red like the 765 LT does in real life. Here we have the volcano red McLaren 765 LT in real life, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, but they don't offer that in their factory paint options. So what I did was essentially just remake it. I can probably actually recreate this more accurately. Let me see. Let's go back to our photo editor. Just gonna paste this image. What I want to try is to simply, let's see if this works. Let's go to here. Just click on this color. Let's try like right here. That's how this looks. Okay, I see. So you can actually see HSL on here, and that is actually the color picker that this game uses. It's HSL, hue, saturation, and lightness. So what if I just copy the hue, which is 0%, or just 0, just like so. The saturation at 99, which is what I have right now pretty much. And then the lightness to 35. That is pretty much volcano red right there, man. Well, somewhat. And when you look at that, man, look at that. That's beautiful. I highly recommend giving this a try. This game actually does have a few ramp locations, and one of my favorites is literally on top of the FinTech parking garage roof right there. And I'm not sure if this was intentional, but you can literally go off this ramp and go onto this building over here. Just get yourself a fast bike. What I like using is the Kawasaki Ninja H2. Right, there we go. And jump just like that. And then we have another ramp that is located in the Bud Mart intersection area. You know, you can also land on another building with this ramp. Sometimes it does make you ragdoll on this part. Okay, we made it. Nicely done. And then we have yet again another ramp that is located at the spawn right here. This one is kind of tricky for some reason for bikes, but let's give it a try. You don't want to go too fast with this one because it kind of like makes you ragdoll. You made it though. That was nice. Sometimes even changing just the littlest thing can make the game more enjoyable. For example, your transmission. In this game, you have the options to just drive in automatic or in semi, or which is really cool, you can actually go to your settings and change your transmission to auto and manual. You can literally drive the Ferrari 458 in manual, which is super cool. When I'm cruising, I honestly love going into semi or manual because it gives me more control, I feel like. Automatic is cool enough when you're racing and you're not really trying to focus on the gears and stuff, but I really don't know. There's just something about changing your gears on your own. It also sounds cool. Just listen to the sound of that. I highly recommend giving it a try. Just change your transmission. And then we have cruising, where you just take a moment to just slow down. You start noticing things, like I said earlier, that you may not have really noticed before. You know, just analyzing the map. Just get your favorite sounding vehicle, one that's decently fast but not too fast. Like I said previously, change your transmission, play some music, really slow down and appreciate this map before it goes away soon. Drag racing is still something you can absolutely do when you're bored inside this game, and players actually like going in detail about it sometimes too. One method they like doing is actually going onto a law enforcement team of any sort, and something players like doing is actually placing down these cones at the start to kind of sort of divide the drag strip in a way. It's not really a drag strip, it's literally just a street. Just place the cones just like so. You can have like a burnout area over here, just like that. We can place some more over here. I think we reached the limit. Yeah, sure did. It's alright. We can just do it like that. I wish we could place some more cones, but that's pretty much how they do it. Then of course, like to spawn their vehicles with the other people in the drag strip, and then of course the rest is history. Oh crap. Like I was trying to say, of course, the rest is history. You can do a little burnout at the start and then have someone actually count down for the race and just go crazy, man. Now with this new Speedway edit that I mentioned, something players love doing now is actually racing on this track. Now the thing is, this was intended to be an actual car track and still is intended to be a car racing track, but players actually do like spawning their full-size vehicles on this track and actually racing. And honestly, it's not a bad thing to do, really. You can see how big this car is compared to this track, you know, but players actually do like racing on this track, and honestly, it still works. And it's something that you can absolutely do when you're bored inside the game. And make sure you're actually driving on the pavement, because you can make your lap invalid really easily just driving a little bit off the pavement. This is for sure something that you can do when you're bored inside the game. And alongside doing the track races, you can of course still just set your own solo lap times to really put your vehicle to its limits. Preferably, I like to set my vehicles to all-wheel drive when I'm doing track races, just so I don't, you know, spin out and stuff. But you know, get your favorite vehicle, tune in a way that you think is going to be good for this track, and literally just go crazy. I think the best time I got with this vehicle is like a 23, I believe. Let's see what time I get. Might be invalid. It might be invalid. Let's restart. 3, 2, 1, go. It might be invalid, but I don't really care anymore. I just want to see what time I get. And boom, 26. Not bad. You get the point, you know. Just try your best to really stay inside the track, but still, you know, go crazy on the corners. Setting lap times is really fun to see how far you can really get your cars to really go in terms of performance. The thing is, this game can get pretty boring if you're just driving on the main roads. Really deep dive into this map, man, because the thing is, it is going away soon. That huge revamp on the way. There are some really cool spots in the game, like for example, Charles Edge Boulevard, which is right next to the dealership. It looks really nice. This is beautiful. Then there is Hickory Boulevard. It's the location that is with the mansions, the apartments. It's really cool. I love this location over here in the back. Then there is the water park, a super underrated location inside this game. And then the off-road trail, you know, that is near Seaside. As this revamp is still on the way, we should absolutely cherish the moments we have for this map. This could be a thumbnail for real. But yeah, man, just deep dive, explore. An aspect of this game that people still love to this day and will continue to be loved is the PvP aspect, man. I love this aspect of the game. It's a really cool aspect, and it actually is receiving an update in the revamp. Check out these new guns, man. It just looks crazy. But the devs actually did come up with an update that allows you to pretty much rob businesses without having to deal with no cops inside the server. Quite literally. They used to make it a requirement for at least 5 cops to be in the server for you to actually rob businesses. But now you can literally just go into your private server and rob a bar now. It's crazy. You no longer have to fear getting killed anymore. You just go in a private server and just rob businesses. I'd say it's definitely still more fun to actually deal with the cops inside the servers, but nonetheless, PvP is something that you should absolutely give a try. This game is cool and all, but it can get really boring if you're just playing it in the boring way. After all, this game is a roleplay game, and something that comes with this roleplay game is Roleplay Servers. I actually roleplayed in a server called AyeYoPanda. It's actually the official roleplay server for this game. I was honestly getting bored of this game myself, but then I actually joined this session and I've just found the game much more fun. It's a really dope experience actually, you know, playing this game in the way that was actually meant to be played. Of course, you can play it however you want to, but there's just something about actually, you know, getting a home and really roleplaying with other individuals, you know. I might do a video soon going over the best roleplay servers of Southwest Florida, but for now, I recommend joining AyeYoPanda. You know, doing the application, actually, you know, interacting with other people of the server, registering your vehicle and your character. Just have fun, man. You know, actually roleplay. Join a session. You're not going to regret it. Just make sure you read the roleplay rules so that you're not messing up anyone else's experience. Playing on your own can get pretty boring pretty fast. If you got some family or friends that do play Roblox, I highly recommend getting them to join you on the Southwest floor. But if you don't have friends, that is unfortunate. There is the chat feature on Roblox, so you can still use that, of course. But you can still absolutely get your family to join you on this game. Whether that's a sister, younger nephew, younger brother, teach them the mechanics and stuff. Maybe even roleplay. Play with other people sometime. The truth is, boredom usually comes with routine or simply being repetitive. If you're doing the same thing over and over when you're playing this game, boredom is coming your way. For example, let's say that you drive one car every time. I literally have nearly 100 vehicles in my garage, and the one car I drive the most is literally my McLaren, the 765. And you know, it's a nice car, but I honestly forgot about this vehicle, the Velocita. We were just yearning for Lamborghinis to return, and I barely drive it now. This thing looks incredible, man. It's beautiful. I'm gonna start driving this more often. Or maybe you always play as a certain role in this game. Like for example, I usually play as the unemployed. What if, like I said previously, I switch it up and go as a criminal? You know, and actually rob businesses, get active, involved in PvP. You love joining car shows, want to actually host a car show, you know? Just things like that. Boredom comes from routine. Try switching something up. car shows is absolutely something that you can do when you're bored instead of this game. People love car shows instead of Southwest Florida, and something that you can do when you're bored is simply either attend one or actually host one. And I feel like host one is actually a bit more rewarding in a way. But as bored as people are getting of this game, they still attend the car shows. It's just great to, you know, see other people's vehicles, see how people feel about your car. It's cool now. Try hosting one time. If you guys want to see a video about the best car show locations, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. This might be really weird, but have you ever taken a moment to just walk, like quite literally, just exiting your vehicle, not driving for just 1 minute, and just explore the map on your feet? I know the cars and driving is a really strong aspect of this game, but sometimes just exit the car and really just take in what is happening instead of Southwest Florida. Like sometimes it's cool to see the cars fly past you, track racing and stuff, or walking down and seeing a car show happening and stuff. It's really cool to see things like up close. I will say though, this is definitely a safer thing to do on this map than in the revamp, because
this is insane, ladies and gentlemen. Oh!
Yeah. Have y'all thought of doing parkour inside this game? Y'all are probably looking at me funny enough with these tips, but literally just do stuff. I mean, just let's see, what can I do? Like for example, literally just boom. Okay, is that parkour? I don't really know, but like I remember talking to somebody on Discord, and parkour is actually something that they do on this game here and there. Would you actually do this? I doubt it, honestly. I don't blame you. There's photo editing that I mentioned, and then there is cinematics. Once again, this is a feature that is only exclusive to the people on the PC and the laptops, but just going Shift+C, zoom in, and then just move the camera around the vehicle. But something that is super useful is the slow mode. Hold on Shift and then start moving. Just spawn your favorite vehicle, on free cam, download the free editor. What I like to use is DaVinci Resolve. This is a really cool free editor, but it's probably really advanced for the average person. So CapCut is a popular one. Download the recording software so that you actually get footage. Start the recording, go crazy in the free cam, you know, stop the recording, open the editor and just input the footage, import your favorite song, and boom, man, you got a cinematic. With that being said, let's lead on into the next topic, which is becoming a content creator for this game. Now, what I will say is, maybe at this time, this game is not the best to start a channel on, but the thing is, I still see potential in it. This new revamp is still in development, and you know, I got the chance to start this channel a long time ago on this game, and I'm doing really well right now. I'm gonna be able to actually, you know, have an audience ready for my videos when this huge revamp actually drops. It's a great opportunity, and if there's anyone out there that's bored of this game and you want to, you know, share knowledge about it, because there's a chance that you're bored of this game because you've done everything. You made the most amount of money, you got every single car, maxed all your jobs. That could be content, man, you know, what just happened. You could actually share your knowledge on this game, you know, tell people how to make money, make content about revamp information, the best jobs, etc., man. But of course, becoming a content creator is not for everybody. It really involves time management, you know, and discipline. Becoming a content creator for this game was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. You can make a cinematic and make that content. Maybe as the revamp releases, you can be a content creator for that time, you know, get people ready for the revamp. But at the 25th spot for things you can do when you're bored of this game is joining the various Discord servers for this game. For example, my server, the official one, the official roleplay one. I'm gonna have all those links down below in the description, but there is a really big community for this game. It's a chance for you to make friends, make connections. It's really cool. In this video right here, I went over what's to come in 2026 for this game. I truly believe this year is going to be a turning point we have all been waiting for. I'll see you guys there.